up with the bank's forecast for currencies and precious metals. And I did that for about 10 years. So when Bitcoin started around 2012, I was intrigued and I started following it. And I'll admit to you, I was tempted to invest it and I didn't. Shame on me, I guess. Because at the time it was saying it wants your driver's license and social security number and all this data, but there was no regulatory infrastructure. So if I got scammed, I had zero recourse. My money was just gone. And I just personally didn't feel comfortable with that. Now again, financially I made the wrong decision, but I've been following it ever since, and I led the research on cryptocurrencies and digital assets at Bridgewater, and I continue to do a lot of digital asset research through various groups I'm involved with. So right now we have an administration that's incredibly supportive of crypto assets. And as a result of that, I would expect that Bitcoin's price will probably keep going up in the short run. There are companies, partly because they think it's a good decision, partly because they think it's a decision that will curry favor with the administration, are going to expand in that world. And let's just be real, there is some political considerations as part of this. It's not all economics. Bitcoin to date is still a very speculative asset. The Bank for International Settlements in Switzerland, which is like the bank for central banks, did a really deep study about a year ago, and it's global. Right now, the vast majority of people who own Bitcoin and the major cryptocurrencies are young white men, and about 75% of them since 2012 have lost money. 75%. And that's largely because they tend to be momentum followers. So the big owners of cryptocurrencies, these people they call whales, they'll move the market, and then the retail people see some little Fibonacci charts or something on their TikToks, and they're like, woo, and they jump in, and then the whales get out, and then the market, because it's not very liquid, falls fast, and all these retail investors lose their shirt. Now, obviously that's not true for everyone, it depends when you get in, but that's been the broad theme we've seen. The big story right now that you'll hear about is stablecoin. Stablecoin, just to make sure we're on the same page, is a type of cryptocurrency that's backed one-to-one with an asset. And the most frequent use of stablecoins is dollar stablecoins. So it's a digital dollar. And the Treasury Department really likes this because they see it as a way to support the dollar's global role. The stablecoins can be used by anyone around the world. And it'll be a source of treasury demand because if you issue a stablecoin, you have to back it. Now, a lot of people use dollars now around the world, but they just use cash. So it's not clear to me how much incremental new buying we'll get versus just going digital, but we'll probably get some. The treasuries, it's important to note that we're talking about 90 days and less, so T-bills. So this is going to create a lot of demand on the short end of the bond curve, but it doesn't do anything to change my view on the 10-year or 30-year treasury yield. The last thing I'd say that is important for this group, so there's an organization called TBAC, the Treasury Borrowing Advisory Committee. That is people who work in very large institutions like JP Morgan and Vanguard. It also includes the Federal Reserve and the Treasury, including Scott Bessent. They meet regularly to talk about how treasury markets are functioning and what the rules should be and how much issuance. Keep an eye on them. All their meetings are public. They issue reports. And one thing they are worried about are stable coins. Because if you have all this money going into basically short-term treasuries as people want stablecoin, then what if they need to get out of stablecoin quickly and you have a sell-off in these short-term treasury instruments? It can create a huge amount of volatility and basically blow up money markets. So there's benefits to this technology for sure, and I think it can do some really cool things in terms of cross-border payments and remittances. But there is no free lunch. The government right now does not do service to this industry by ignoring some of these costs and risks, because I think we need to know both sides of it. I think it has the potential to be a powerful positive force for global payments, but it does carry risks with it, and those would be a couple I'd highlight. Yes, over here.